Welcome to the Law of One. I'm Robert, humble messenger. I'm 45 years old now, and it seems everywhere I go, everyone calls me Sir. That's alright. It's my pleasure to bring to you conscious channeling of Love Light Research, better known as LL Research. You know, we need a sharp definition of the universe. This question comes from a mathematician. I am Hatan. Greetings to all of you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate and are grateful for this opportunity to attempt to serve you, asking you always to remember that we are fallible and prone to error, as anyone with opinions must be, and acknowledge himself to be. Okay, we would speak to the subject, which is closer to our area of interest than most, as we have been in our years of service with the brothers and sisters of sorrow, attempting to grasp the distortions, solutions, and thoughts that entities have had in this area. Perhaps we would phrase our definition of creation or the universe by speaking firstly of the entire universe, and then only secondly of the local phenomena and the locally observed phenomena. The Creator, in a very literal sense, is the creation as it is in its pure state, single and containing all that there is. The most gratifying way to look at the mathematics of the eternal is to gaze at one's own feelings about that which is eternal. One may make certain logical assumptions. The creation is all one place. The creation is all one time. The creation is the active portion itself, infinite, of the intelligent infinity, which is called love, or the Creator, or Christ consciousness, or whatever term most aptly describes each entity's own vision of the Creator. To put it another way, the creation, seen without distortion, is completely unified. To put it another way, the creation is that infinite space that the Creator has called into manifestation. It has, in a cosmic or galactic way, created a oneness through diversity. This is a third density version of the Creator. Each density pictures the Creator less anthropomorphically and more realistically, because as the truth recedes before you, you find yourself more aware of the creation of the kingdom, both without you and within you. Consequently, a sharp definition in third density vocabulary would be that creation is that limitless and ever-expanding area of light that surrounds infinite intelligence in its passive state. The creator in its passive state, though the originator of love and having created by love, should also be seen to be love. Love creating love. And in this great love, offering to each entity the freedom of opportunity to choose that which we wish to do. Those who have studied, meditated, and worshipped long upon the Creator of humankind have, more often than any other way, apprehended the Creator as light. This is, in fact, neither creator nor creation, but rather love bonding with free will and deciding to build, create, or manifest a series of illusions helpful to those sparks of the Creator, which were before all worlds were, and which shall be after all worlds are no more. Thusly, the mathematics of the eternal must reckon with only one number, and that is the number one. For the creation is infinite, full of creative power, and continually expressing itself in spiritual ways to those who open the door requesting that information. The free will of each entity is called the first distortion. In actuality, it is the first distortion in the human drama. That is, each of us decides and chooses to eat of the apple, the symbol of good and evil. Once entities are aware of the duality of each day as opposed to the unity of the truth, it becomes more difficult to imagine, ideate, or allow such a simple concept as the Creator being that area of light, infinite in nature, which contains all manifestations of consciousness, which the Creator has offered. It is a challenging set of illusions, each of which is biased towards that which has been called spiritual evolution or consciousness. These lessons are not easy, and they are extremely time-consuming, taking many, many lifetimes. So, the paradox here is that each of you has two clocks within. One kind is humankind's time. The other clock is a face with no numbers and no hands, no digital readout, simply a blank. That is the eternal now, under which all things fall. This is our witness to the Creator and its love in building this universe, that its active sparks then kindle in their hearts the power to choose again and again to love, where hate would be more normal, to console when you felt less like consoling, to remain forgiven, and especially self-forgiven. If we do aught else, we are criticizing our Creator as well as ourselves. If we argue or are in contention with another, this not only expresses our views, it also separates us from love and thereby from the Creator. The largest problem that we have in speaking to you about the universe is that we see that universe as a live organism, whereas you tend to see the universe as that which is static, as an inert entity. This circle of light, if we may call it that, about the Creator is anything but careless, as the Creator broadened over the sea and caused a living environment for learning. So the Creator in each entity may be found by that entity as it reviews that which has increased the light and radiance flowing through them, and that which has decreased the light and radiance flowing through them. It would be extremely difficult at the level of instrumentation and discourse, as well as philosophy, that your science now offers, to give a particularly specific view of eternity, as the only so-called number that is reckoned with is 1. Because the creation is an infinity, it can only be one thing, for there are no numbers in infinity except 1. To build a mathematics upon 1, or 1 over 1, that being love over light, creating manifestation, and light moving towards love, creating humankind's experience. There is more upon this subject, but we realize the time is not as short as we think it is when we speak. The way of looking at the universe from the standpoint of humankind is interesting, inarguably so. However, it does not have the advantage of realizing the absoluteness of the Creator, of eternity, and of the self. It attempts each day to make some kind of difference, moving along what this instrument would call an inherent talent or gift. That is, the yearning and the pulling towards this unity. All pilgrims are on a road bound for home. They have been spendthrifts. Each of you has, in some symbolic or literal way, created much confusion. It is also possible to create non-confusion, contentment, and hospitable feelings towards all. When one stays within the illusion that is available for measure by instrumentation, by your scientific instruments, one sees not that which is, that is, varying energy forms within which the light of self-consciousness has moved forward. The goal of each pilgrim is, of course, to arrive at home. That is the prodigal's dream. Now, entities are not brought to this place or moved from second density in this place to third density in this place in order that they might play in the garden, although many do so. Remain innocent and are always ready for graduation. But it is a portion necessary to this illusion that it makes logical sense. The logic of the universe, though it cannot be explained, is visible. The atoms that form compounds of atoms which form cells, and gradually the manifestation of the entire being. Are those forces irresistible to the entity which seeks? However, if one seeks within the plane or density, which you call third density upon your planet Earth, one will learn that which humanity has to teach you, which is no inconsiderable thing. However, contemplation, reading, writing, is the way of a person that finds spiritual food in these activities. However, within this illusion, the natural laws do distort eternal truths into observed truths. That is the key to that which is most difficult for scientists and mathematicians. When dealing with this illusion, from whatever perspective, one discovers at the end of the inquiry a remaining mystery, which is an inherent part of an universe which is nominal, where things not making sense and becoming paradoxes is simply a sign that the pilgrim has an awareness of its own growth processes. Mathematics itself is extremely precise within this local illusion. However, just as one measures extremely low temperatures by using Kelvin numbers, so can we describe the universe using a different kind of measurement, having, however, to do with the concept of heat. It is doubtful, though possible, that there is an entity with enough of a vision to create social change by invention. This has occurred many times among your peoples and will occur again. And so we continue in a multitude of questions, experiences, and emotions. These are logical distortions. They are of interest to the Creator, but often the use of the gifts of the Spirit create the beautiful bond of love and love itself, or divine love, or love divine. Just as entities cannot channel our thoughts without words, just so can we not avoid distortion using terms that are not only of this density or local illusion, but are also not informed by the central spiritual core of faith. So a choice is left for each pilgrim to make. Although you cannot prove it, do you feel that your path of service brings you onto holy ground? This is part of the definition of the universe in its active phase. That is, that entities will be drawn by spiritual gravity at a variable speed depending upon the resistance, conscious or unconscious, of the entity. Experience hones and clears and forgives many things for which it has felt itself responsible. This is moving from the life and death nature of third density to a more enlightened point of view, in our opinion. One final note. The creation is quite simply a mystery. We do not know, truly, of the first things any more than any baby in any crib can know of the affairs of the day. They hear only one thing. Each of us hears the sorrow of your people. And so we come to give you not only hope and not simple homeliness, but also workable and efficient exercises for moving the consciousness back to that place where it was in meditation, when you were living in eternity. As you love one another more and more, your own subjective universe becomes more and more lovely and spacious. Thusly, speaking as to a mathematician who asks this query, we may say that much of mathematics is quite capable of manipulation of various minerals, gases, and liquids, of creating environments which the great self, or the creator, and the individual co-creator have decided that which it wishes to do as a path of service. In sum, there are two definitions of the universe. One definition is absolute, without any space or any time, being as all one thing. The creation is intelligent and infinite and kindly towards those who seek the spiritual path, which leads to radiance and servanthood. Self-aggrandizement, fear of losing one's reputation, and other such concerns are for those who do not feel that the Creator speaks to them in the silence of their hearts. In the creation of the Creator, all things are truly one. This instrument clasps her partner's hand, that apparently is as close as two entities can be. However, it is in the deep mind, not in the second density body, that you use that information regarding you as an imperishable individual is stored. And this deep mind cannot be uncovered except by meditation. Spending some time daily doing inner spiritual work. For us to know intelligent infinity and to experience what this instrument would call holiness, one must gaze from a viewpoint of informed compassion. In this particular density, you are learning more and more how to love each other. An absolute necessity preceding the day when there shall be a new heaven and a new earth. However, it is only newness will be that it is entering third density space-time at the particular time during which another third density should begin. So, like truth, part of the Creator is truth itself, absolute and unified, without space, without time, and without polarity. From a human perspective, a local environment is quite various and not a possessor of large truths, but only of creating a vast array of confusion. We ask each to allow oneself to feel this light, this living creative light as it moves through your body to the heart chakra. As you breathe in, visualize and begin to feel this. As you breathe out fatigue, worry, illness. It is always being requested by your peoples to realize many phenomena, past life experiences, karma that is still owed, and so forth. However, neither in metaphysical or godly time, nor in group consensus time, is this possible. Thus, we always suggest meditation, but more than that, we suggest the singing for joy and the becoming aware. When there is a sharp sound, a knock at the door, a telephone call, the ringing of a bell that you can hear, a honk, any sudden sound through the day that can be used as a reminder of the state of mind you have had during and shortly after meditation, as compared with the last several minutes or hours of daily attitude. So, the mathematics of infinity are done all with one. The mathematics of local areas of space-time are set up by the Creator and each spirit as it is tossed as a spark from a great hearth, the great transfigurational furnace of faith. There is a saying upon this instrument's wall. All is in the all, and the all is all. What? All is in the all, and the all is all. We are all one being. The rest is illusion. We are impressed by this entity's query, for it shows that the entity is familiar instinctually with new thoughts and new ideas upon the nature of metaphysical mathematics. It would, of course, be Metamathematics, but it has its possibilities, although we find it doubtful that any could carry them forward. But you do live moment by moment in eternity, in infinity, in any kingdom of heaven, if so you wish it to be. That is an absolute. Resist or refuse faith unconditionally And you are left in believing those artifacts of which mankind has been the author. Of the two sources, the former is by far the more trustworthy and accurate. Again, there is still more upon this subject, but we realize that we have worked quite a bit overtime. As we heard your machine ending some time ago. So we shall say that which is not yet said. That is the remainder, shall we say, of the paragraphs. The theme of which was offered in one sentence, a more complete discussion and a fuller grasping of the entire notion of there being a universe as opposed to there being that which seems to be. Both of these things happen to be true of the creation. One thing is for sure, all things are made of love. And free will acting on love to produce light, which can create and manifest matter. May you love each other, then you shall learn more and more about the Creator. And you will prefer the mystery of the mathematics of one over the finite of ideas which humankind creates and the artifacts it produces. For like the clay of your physical vehicles, they also will become obsolete. Not for any specific reason of age, but simply because it is the nature of things. The best we can do is to point you in the general direction of the truth you seek, and then build a wall that you can climb over very easily. You can climb over that wall and rest at any time. But those who wish to work for the Creator are zealous and loving and sharing. When we see this, we become humble before each of you who has achieved true harmony. For you have moved from truths to truth, and you have begun to operate in your everyday life according to spiritual principles, moving from the many to the one.